On February 17, 1992, the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department responded to an armed robbery that had occurred at a checker station on US 421, otherwise known as Michigan Road. There were two vehicles seen in the area, one a red or maroon colored Buick LeSabre, driven by one black male, and then the other one would be a light green Chevy Caprice or Impala four-door, damage to the left front fender. I think it weighs heavily on the department that we still have an open cold case, and we'd like to get this one cleared up and set the community at ease. If anyone has any information, we'd ask you to contact Crime Stoppers or the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office.
On April 17, 1993, kids were playing in a farm field south of Interstate 65 in the Greenwood exit. They found bones sticking out of the ground and brought the remains to their father, who notified authorities. With the help of a forensic professional, police determined the bones to be human. Initially, the bones were believed to be from a female, but a recent re-examination of the DNA evidence supports that the remains are from a white male who's about 5'1" and 14 to 30 years old at his time of death during the summer or fall of 1991. It's been over 20 years since the discovery of the bones, but the identity of the individual remains a mystery.
I think what really bothers me is that we've not been able to make an identification.
There is somebody out there that is missing their family member. There is somebody out there who knows who this is.
We want to see a family have closure. And if we can find out at least who the person is, at least that family can have closure and know what has happened with that missing person.
If you have any information, contact the Greenwood Police Department or call Crime Stoppers of Central Indiana at 317-262-TIPS.
You see something like this on the news or in a movie, you think it could never happen to you or anybody that you know. I just remember looking, searching, and just crying, hoping that she was okay, hoping that she would call.
No one has seen or heard from Berkeley Laux since the evening of June 24th, 2002. We are still following up on active leads and tips as they come in. There are people out there who know more that have never told us the complete story.
And what if it was your sister, your daughter, your son, your best friend, your loved one? Come forward and say something for the family.
On February 24, 2000, the new building located at 110 West Main Street in Greenfield, Indiana was reported to be on fire. After the fire was suppressed, the victim, Willard Brown, was found deceased in his apartment.
The fire investigators determined that the fire was an arson fire. It had started in the upstairs room.
Willard's son, Bob Brown, was the last person Willard spoke to.
He was a good father. If they had any information whatsoever pertaining to the case and it would help solve it, it would be closure for me.
If anybody in the public has new information that hasn't been seen yet, bring it forward and we'll take a look at it and see where it leads us. There's no statute of limitations for murder.
On August 31st, 1986, Douglas Sons was shot and killed while working at the Coqueline gas station in Columbus, Indiana. He was 22 years old. His family lost not only a loving son, brother, and husband, but also an expecting father. An empty field along Highway 46 once held the Coqueline station where Sons was found on Labor Day weekend. Many detectives have looked at this case over the years, but little evidence and few leads have led the investigation to become cold. Coqueline Oil Corporation is offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction. Anyone with information, please contact the Columbus Police Department or Crime Stoppers of Central Indiana. Tips can be made anonymously.
Charles McGraw, by all accounts, from family, friends, co-workers, was a great person. Charles McGraw may have been involved in things outside of his circle of co-workers, friends, and family that ultimately led to his murder. You know, there may be things that folks were afraid to say at the time, be it that something that they were involved in as well. We would ask those folks to put that aside and help us solve murder.
On May 14, 1973, Robert Johnson and 3 friends were returning home from the Idle Weidel roller rink in Marion, Indiana. On the long walk home, at the corner of 18th and Nebraska, a gunshot ran out in the car and Robert Johnson was killed.
Of suspicion of involvement with racism and or, the police department.
The Johnson family has waited 40 years for justice.
Out of breath and says, Robert's been shot. I just took off. I think I even went without shoes or anything. I ran all the way up there where he was.
Please call Captain J.K. at Marion Police Department or Grant County Crime Stoppers with any information that can help solve this case.
On May the 7th, 2007, deputies responded to a report of a body alongside the road on US 31 south of Edinburgh. At the scene, they found the remains of an adult female who was later identified as Audrey Smith.
The first thing that comes to my mind when I think of Audrey was fun. She just loved to have fun.
We would hope that anyone who knows anything about this case would come forward and contact the sheriff's office.
Time's an ocean, life's just one way.
Tom Smith was last seen in the Delshire mobile home community in southwest Shelby County, Labor Day weekend 2006.
Tom was just the all-American country boy.
There's a lot of information out there that people know. I just want my brother.
We do believe that there is foul play involved in Tom Smith's disappearance.
Just please tell us where he is.
Work for you.
August 19th, 1975, my department received a call of a missing girl.
11-year-old Cheryl Boland was taken from the road while she was riding her bike home from a friend's house. A search party later found her bike off the road in a wooded area.
I've been involved in the Cheryl Boland case for the past 16 years.
Her remains were later found south of Terre Haute on March 2nd, 1976.
And it will be an ongoing investigation, even though the case is 38 years old.
I miss her very much, and if somebody could come forth.
Please contact the Morgan County Sheriff Department if you have any information about Cheryl Boland's murder.
Saturday, July 10th, 2004 started off as any other. I went to work at Fast Lube where I worked on cars for a few hours. I got off around 1 p.m. and stopped to grab me a bite to eat before heading home to relax before going out for the night. But somebody decided that I wasn't going out that night or any other night after that. I worked hard all my life and made lots of friends and maybe even a few enemies along the way. I tried to be a good person and help people the best way I knew, but I guess someone didn't think so highly of my generosity. No one plans to die the way I did. My only thought now is my killer is still out there. I know who it is, but will anyone else ever know?
A resident called in and said a vehicle was on fire. This is approximately 2 miles south of Logansport. It was a cold February night back in 1987.
I think a relationship with my parents was taken away from me. I wish I could remember being with my dad. I wish I could remember being with my mom. I just wish I could remember.
Julie was just an infant when her parents were killed. She never knew her parents. She was robbed of that.
I don't ever get to know who my parents are. I missed a lot.
They didn't deserve that. No one deserves that. And let's bring these killers to justice.
If you have any information about this case, please contact Crime Stoppers of Central Indiana, 317-262-TIPS.
July 20th, 2006, 10:25 p.m. Ron Upsetnik Jr. was on his motorcycle on 96th Street approaching US 31. It appears that the suspect vehicle made a left turn in front of Ron, essentially cutting Ron off. His motorcycle hits the vehicle, he's thrown from the motorcycle and killed.
My father was great with one-liners.
Ron was the kind of guy that liked to laugh and joke and have a good time.
You know, I'd like to be, out there playing football with them. And
if somebody had any information, obviously they could call the Carmel Police Department here at 317-571-2500 for Crime Stoppers 262-TIPS.
A mother will never know the man her son was becoming. My son was a good man, a good boy. But it's what it was. He just kept everybody laughing. On the fateful morning of June 14, 2012, and he was shot and killed. He was only 19 years old, and the family will forever be ravished with the pain of such a senseless crime. He was a good person, but he was not a saint. But no matter what he did not deserve to die. No matter what. Help a mother make sense of something so senseless. If you know something, say something.
A hit and run that results in death or fatality isn't something we see a lot of around here.
78-year-old Anita Warnsing was struck and killed by an unknown vehicle while crossing State Road 267 to get home from church.
A pickup truck or SUV type vehicle. Happened November 25th of 2012. I couldn't imagine somebody just striking somebody on the side of the road and not sticking around to make sure they're okay, or knowing that you may have just killed somebody, not stopping to let that family have closure.
If anyone has any information that could help put this case to rest, please contact Crime Stoppers of Central Indiana at 800-222-TIPS or the Lebanon Police Department at 765-485-3025.
Her personality was, she was just her own person. She was, for the most part, always happy. She was unique.
We did everything together, dude. She was just the same exact person as I was.
On March 4th, 2011, Hadley Cave, seen here on the right, was just 13 years old when she was hit and killed by a motorist. The motorist did not stop and has yet to be found.
From the only piece of evidence we have, we thought it was a Toyota, a 2002 to 2006 Toyota Camry.
Just want to know why, and I just feel like she deserved to be helped.
She just looked up to me so much. Just the way she looked at me. I just feel like my heart hurts.
No matter what it'd be the most important piece for us. Anything, any information to know what happened that night.
If anybody has any information, call Crime Stoppers or call this office.